Signs someone thinks about you more than you know. Have you ever had a strange feeling that someone is thinking about you, even when they are not around? Maybe they suddenly send you a message after a long silence. Maybe they remember a small detail you thought they had forgotten. Or maybe you keep noticing that they find little reasons to be near you. Sometimes, people do not openly say, "I think about you a lot," but their actions can quietly reveal what their words do not. Here are the signs that someone may be thinking about you more than you know. 1. They remember small details about you. One of the clearest signs is when someone remembers small things you once mentioned. Maybe you told them your favorite food, your favorite movie, or something important that happened in your life. You may not even remember telling them, but weeks or months later they bring it up. This usually means they were paying close attention when you spoke. People often forget information that does not matter to them. But when someone thinks about you often, details connected to you can stay in their mind. They may remember your birthday, your favorite drink, the name of your pet, or something you were worried about. For example, you may casually say, "I have an important meeting next week." Later, they ask, "How did your meeting go?" That simple question can mean more than it seems. It shows they remembered something about your life and cared enough to ask about it. Remembering details is not always proof of romantic feelings. Some people simply have a good memory. But when they remember many small things about you and regularly bring them up, it may be a sign that you are often on their mind. 2. They find small reasons to contact you. Does this person often message you for simple reasons? Maybe they send you a funny video, ask a small question, share a song, or tell you something they could easily have kept to themselves. The real reason may not always be the message itself. Sometimes people contact someone simply because they want to feel connected. They may not know how to say, "I was thinking about you," so they send something small instead. For example, they might say, "This reminded me of you. Have you seen this? I just wanted to ask you something." Or, "I thought you might like this." These messages may seem normal, but if they happen often, they can show that you appear in that person's thoughts during the day. Of course, do not overthink every single message. One text does not always mean something deep, but a repeated pattern can be meaningful. When someone consistently finds small reasons to talk to you, it may be because they simply enjoy having you in their life. 3. They notice when something changes about you. People who think about you often tend to notice changes that others may miss. Maybe you changed your hairstyle. Maybe you seem quieter than usual. Maybe you stopped posting online as much as before. They notice. They might ask, "Are you okay? You seem a little different today." Or they may say, "You changed something about your hair, right?" This shows attention. When a person pays close attention to you, they become familiar with your normal behavior. Because of that, even small changes can stand out. For example, if you are normally very talkative but suddenly become quiet, someone who truly notices you may sense that something is wrong. They may not always know what to say, but their attention itself can be important. Being noticed can make you feel seen. And often, people notice us most when we have a special place in their thoughts. 4. They bring you up in conversations. Another interesting sign is when other people tell you that this person mentioned you. Maybe your friend says, "They were talking about you the other day." Or perhaps someone tells you that this person asked how you were doing. This can be a strong sign that you exist in their thoughts even when you are not present. Think about it. When we are thinking about someone a lot, they naturally appear in our conversations. Something reminds us of them, and suddenly we mention their name. A song may remind them of you. A place may remind them of you. A situation may remind them of something you once said. And without planning it, they may start talking about you. Of course, context matters. Mentioning someone once does not always mean deep feelings. But if you regularly come up in their conversations, especially in positive ways, it can suggest that you have a lasting place in their mind. 5. They respond to you quickly when they can. Fast replies are not always a sign that someone is thinking about you. People have different habits, jobs, and schedules. But when someone is genuinely interested in staying connected, they often make an effort to respond. Even when they are busy, they may say, "I'll reply properly later." That is different from simply disappearing. The important thing is not whether they answer in 5 seconds. The important thing is whether they show consistent interest in the conversation. Do they ask questions? Do they continue the conversation? Do they remember what you said earlier? Do they come back after being busy? These behaviors can show that talking to you matters to them. When someone thinks about you often, your messages may naturally become important to them. Seeing your name on their phone can make them want to know what you have to say. 6. Things remind them of you. Have you ever received a message that says, "This made me think of you"? It could be a song, a movie, a joke, a place, or even something completely random. This can be one of the sweetest signs. It means your personality, your interests, or your memories have become connected to things in their everyday life. For example, they see your favorite snack and think of you. They hear a song you once recommended and think of you. They visit a place where you had a good conversation and remember you. This happens because the human mind connects people with memories and experiences. The more often someone thinks about you, the more things can start reminding them of you. You become connected to small parts of their daily life. And sometimes, they may not even realize how often it happens. 7. They check on you without a special reason. A person who thinks about you may sometimes send a simple message. "How are you? Did you get home safely? Are you feeling better now?" Just checking on you. These messages can be small, but they can show genuine care. They are not contacting you because they need something. They simply want to know how you are doing. This is especially meaningful when they remember something difficult you were going through. For example, if you once mentioned being stressed about an exam, an interview, or a personal situation, they may contact you later to ask how things turned out. That shows you remained in their thoughts after the conversation ended. However, it is important to remember that caring does not always mean romance. Friends, family members, and good people can think about you deeply too. The key is to look at the complete pattern, not just one action. 8. They become curious about your life. When someone thinks about you a lot, they may want to know more about you. They may ask about your plans, your goals, your childhood, your interests, or your future. They are curious because you matter to them. They do not just ask basic questions and forget the answers. They may remember what you told them and continue the conversation later. For example, you tell them you want to learn a new skill. A few weeks later, they ask, "Did you ever start learning that?" That shows interest in your personal journey. Real curiosity can be a sign of emotional attention. They want to understand how you think. They want to know what makes you happy. They want to learn about your goals and dreams. When someone asks thoughtful questions about your life, it can mean they want a deeper connection with you. 9. They notice your absence. Sometimes, the biggest sign is not what happens when you are present. It is what happens when you are gone. Do they notice when you stop talking? Do they ask why you have been quiet? Do they notice when you are not where you normally are? If your absence stands out to someone, it may mean your presence has become important to them. For example, if you usually talk every day and suddenly become quiet, they may reach out and ask if everything is okay. This does not mean you should test people by disappearing. Healthy relationships should not depend on games or emotional tests. But naturally noticing someone's absence can show that they are part of your normal routine. And when a person becomes part of your routine, you may start thinking about them more than you realize. 10. They remember important dates and moments. Remembering important dates can also be meaningful. Maybe they remember your birthday. Maybe they remember an important interview. Maybe they remember the day you started a new job or reached an important goal. This shows that moments connected to your life matter to them. They may even remember dates that you forgot yourself. For some people, remembering important events is simply part of their personality. But when they consistently remember things related specifically to you, it can show emotional attention. It means your experiences stayed with them. And when your important moments remain in someone's memory, there is a good chance you also remain in their thoughts. 11. Their body language changes around you. Sometimes people say more with body language than with words. When you enter the room, do they suddenly smile? Do they make more eye contact with you? Do they sit or stand closer to you? Do they seem slightly nervous? Body language can sometimes reveal interest, excitement, or emotional connection. However, body language should never be treated as exact proof. People behave differently depending on their personality and situation. A shy person may avoid eye contact. A confident person may make eye contact with everyone. That is why you should never judge someone based on one small gesture. Instead, look for repeated patterns. Do they seem especially engaged when you are around? Do they pay more attention when you speak? Do they appear happy to see you? When several signs appear together, body language can help you understand how comfortable and emotionally connected someone feels around you. 12. They make time for you. Time is valuable. People can say many things, but how they use their time often shows what matters to them. If someone regularly makes time to talk to you, see you, or help you, that can be meaningful. They may have a busy day, but still send you a message. They may be tired, but still remember to check on you. They may adjust their plans because spending time with you matters to them. This does not mean someone must always be available. Healthy relationships include boundaries, work, rest, and personal responsibilities. The real sign is effort. Do they try to stay connected? Do they follow through on plans? Do they make you feel that your time matters too? Someone who thinks about you may look for ways to include you in their life. 13. They share things with you first. When something interesting, exciting, or emotional happens, who do they want to tell? If you are often one of the first people they contact, that can be a meaningful sign. Maybe they receive good news and immediately want to share it with you. Maybe something funny happens, and you are the first person they think of. Maybe they are having a difficult day and want to talk to you. This can show trust and emotional connection. We often think about the people we want to share our lives with. If someone regularly wants your opinion, your reaction, or your support, you may have an important place in their mind. They value your presence in both their good moments and difficult moments. That kind of connection is often deeper than simple small talk. 14. They notice your mood. A person who thinks about you often may become familiar with your emotional patterns. They may notice when you are happy, stressed, worried, or unusually quiet. You may say, "I'm fine," but they may ask, "Are you sure?" Not because they are trying to control you, but because they can sense that something feels different. Again, this should be healthy and respectful. No one should pressure you to share something you are not ready to discuss. But emotional awareness can be a sign of close attention. They know your usual energy. They notice your tone. They remember what affects you. And because they care, they may think about whether you are okay even after the conversation ends. 15. They support your goals. Someone who thinks about you deeply may also care about your future. They may encourage you before an important event. They may celebrate your success. They may remind you not to give up when you feel discouraged. They may even share opportunities, advice, or useful information because they remember your goals. For example, if you once told them that you want to start a business, learn a skill, or get a better job, they may later send you something related to that goal. That means they remembered. More importantly, it means your future matters enough for them to connect it with their own thoughts. Support is often a quiet form of care. Not everyone will express feelings with big words. Some people show their thoughts and emotions through encouragement and action. 16. They playfully tease you about things you said. Sometimes a person remembers small, funny things you said and brings them up later. Maybe you made a strange comment months ago, and they still remember it. Maybe you once said you disliked a certain food, and they jokingly mention it whenever they see it. This can show that your conversations stayed in their mind. Playful teasing can also create a sense of connection. It becomes a shared memory between the two of you. Of course, healthy teasing should never be cruel or disrespectful. If it makes you uncomfortable, you have every right to say so. But when the teasing is friendly and based on details only the two of you remember, it can show that your interactions are important to them. 17. They react when someone else shows interest in you. This sign needs to be understood carefully. If someone seems slightly uncomfortable, quiet, or unusually curious when another person shows interest in you, it may suggest that they care about you more deeply than they admit. They may ask questions like, "Who is that? Are you close to them? Do you like them?" But this should never become controlling behavior. Healthy interest respects your freedom. Jealousy is not automatically proof of love, and controlling behavior should not be romanticized. The healthiest sign is not someone trying to control your choices. It is someone quietly realizing that your place in their life matters to them. Emotions can sometimes become clearer when we imagine losing someone's attention. That is when a person may suddenly understand how often they have been thinking about you. 18. They revisit old conversations. Have you ever had someone mention something from a conversation you had a long time ago? Maybe they say, "Remember when we talked about that?" Or they bring up a funny moment that you had forgotten. This can be a sign that they replay certain memories involving you. Some conversations stay with us because of the person we shared them with. If someone regularly remembers your old conversations, jokes, or experiences, it may mean those moments were important to them. They may even go back and read old messages. Of course, you cannot know this unless they tell you, so avoid making assumptions. But if they often bring up old memories, it is reasonable to notice that your shared experiences seem to have stayed with them. 19. They give you thoughtful advice. When someone truly thinks about you, their advice may be more personal and thoughtful. They may remember your situation before giving an opinion. Instead of giving a general answer, they may say, "Based on what you told me before, I think this could be better for you." That shows they have been paying attention. They understand your personality, your goals, and perhaps some of your worries. They are not simply reacting to the current moment. They are connecting your present situation with things they already know about you. This can show that your life has a place in their thoughts. Good advice is not about controlling someone. It is about trying to support them while respecting their decisions. And when someone gives thoughtful support, it can be a quiet sign that they care. 20. They look for opportunities to see you. Some people may not directly say, "I want to spend time with you." Instead, they may look for natural opportunities. They may ask if you are attending an event. They may suggest meeting for coffee. They may join an activity because they know you will be there. Again, context matters. Sometimes people simply enjoy social activities. But if they regularly try to create opportunities to spend time with you, it may show that your presence matters to them. The strongest relationships are built through real time and real experiences. If someone chooses to include you in their day or looks forward to seeing you, that can be more meaningful than dramatic words. 21. They send you things that match your interests. Imagine you once told someone that you love a certain type of movie. A few days later, they send you a trailer for a new film in that category. Or maybe you mentioned wanting to learn something, and they send you a useful video. This is another simple sign of attention. They are not just thinking about what they like. They are remembering what you like too. When something appears in their daily life, they connect it with you. That connection can happen naturally when a person thinks about you often. They may see something and immediately think, "They would like this." That is a small but meaningful form of emotional presence. 22. They listen carefully when you speak. Listening is becoming rare. Many people hear words, but they are already thinking about what they want to say next. A person who thinks about you deeply may listen differently. They may ask follow-up questions. They may remember what you said. They may give you time to explain yourself. They may notice when something is important to you. This kind of attention can make a person feel respected. It shows that your thoughts and feelings are not disappearing the moment the conversation ends. Instead, they stay in the other person's mind. And that may be one of the strongest signs of all. Someone does not have to send you messages every hour to prove that they care. Sometimes, simply listening deeply can reveal a powerful connection. 23. They seem happy when you succeed. When you achieve something, do they genuinely celebrate with you? Do they seem proud? Do they encourage you to keep going? A person who thinks about you and cares about you will often feel happy when good things happen in your life. They do not need to compete with you. They do not make your success about themselves. Instead, they recognize your effort and celebrate your progress. This can show genuine emotional connection. Your happiness affects them. Your success becomes something they remember and feel good about. And that is often a sign that you matter more than you realize. 24. They apologize when they hurt you. Nobody is perfect. Even people who care about us can make mistakes. But when someone truly values you, they may think about how their actions affected you. If they realize they hurt you, they may reach out, apologize, and try to understand your feelings. A meaningful apology includes more than the words, "I'm sorry." It includes responsibility and effort to do better. If someone thinks about you often, they may also think about the state of your relationship. They may not like the idea of leaving things broken between you. Of course, apologies should lead to better behavior over time. Words without change are not enough. But genuine effort to repair a relationship can show that losing your connection matters to them. 25. They simply find their way back to you. Perhaps the quietest sign is this. Even after life becomes busy, they find their way back to you. Maybe days pass, maybe weeks pass, but they still check in. They still remember you. They still ask how you are doing. This does not mean every person who returns should automatically be trusted. Some people come back only when they need something. That is why consistency matters. But when someone repeatedly returns with genuine care, respect, and interest, it may show that you continue to exist in their thoughts. Some people are present only when it is convenient. Others carry memories of you even when you are not around. And sometimes, the biggest sign that someone thinks about you is not a dramatic confession. It is the small, repeated effort to stay connected. The most important thing to remember. It is easy to overthink human behavior. A quick reply can mean interest, or it can simply mean someone was free. A smile can mean attraction, or it can simply mean they are friendly. A message can mean they miss you, or it can mean they just wanted to talk. That is why you should never build a complete story from one sign. Look at patterns. Look at consistency. Look at how they treat you over time. The healthiest connections are not built on guessing games. They are built on honesty, respect, communication, and mutual effort. If someone thinks about you often, their actions may show it through attention, care, memory, support, and consistency. But the best way to truly understand how someone feels is through clear and respectful communication. Instead of spending all your time searching for hidden signs, notice how the relationship makes you feel. Do you feel respected? Do you feel valued? Do you feel safe being yourself? Do they respect your boundaries? Do their actions match their words? These questions are often more important than trying to decode every text message or every look. Because real connection does not always need to be mysterious. Sometimes, the person who thinks about you the most will show it in the simplest ways. They remember, they listen, they check on you, they support you, they make time. And even when you are not in front of them, something in their daily life reminds them of you. So if you have been wondering whether someone thinks about you more than pay attention to the small patterns, not just the big moments. Sometimes care is loud, but often the deepest thoughts are revealed quietly, not through one dramatic message, not through one perfect moment, but through small actions repeated again and again. And sometimes those small actions say what words never do.